A lion doesn't seek a queen. He waits to see which lioness dares walk beside him. Ascenders, welcome back to the frequency where distractions die and clarity thrives. This isn't your average self-help echo chamber. This is Sigma Ascends, where independence isn't just preached, it's practiced. The Sigma male isn't a puzzle to be solved. He's a force to be respected. He doesn't crave a partner to complete him. He stands whole already. So the real question is, what kind of woman is built to stand with a man who bows to no system? Today, we break every cliché. No fluffy talk, no surface-level queen energy chatter. We're talking about the rare kind of woman who doesn't orbit the Sigma. She aligns with him, so buckle in, Ascenders. This is the playbook for the rarest bond in modern psychology. And if this type of thinking feels like oxygen, subscribe to Sigma Ascends. We don't speak to the herd. We speak to the elite few, the ones building quietly, living fully, and walking in pure mental sovereignty. Point 1. The mirror with edges. The Sigma male doesn't need a cheerleader or a caretaker. He needs clarity in a world full of fog. This woman, she's that clarity, but she's not soft light. She's precision. She reflects him, not to flatter but to challenge. She doesn't worship his independence. She understands it. She doesn't chase compliments or beg for attention. Her value doesn't shift with moods or trends. She holds space for herself, and in doing so, becomes the one space where the Sigma can rest without performance. She doesn't sugarcoat. If he's off track, she tells him. If he's hiding, she sees it. She's not a therapist. She's not a fixer. She's a mirror with edges. And the Sigma, he respects sharpness more than softness, because she knows how to observe without interfering. She doesn't interrupt the Sigma's silence. She knows when to speak and when to leave space. Her words are few, but surgical. Her silence isn't passive, it's strategic. This woman doesn't crumble under pressure. She doesn't seek permission to be herself. She's not looking for a pedestal. She's looking for purpose. She isn't needy. She isn't clingy. She doesn't orbit him. She orbits her own mission. And when their missions align, there's no power couple stronger. She doesn't fear the Sigma's mystery. She lives in mystery herself. She doesn't ask, "Where is this going?" because she already knows where she's headed. The Sigma doesn't pull her forward. She walks beside him. She isn't impressed by rebellion or charm. She's impressed by discipline, because she holds herself to the same standard. She's not trying to change him. She's already done the work to change herself. This is the woman who doesn't fold under pressure, doesn't shrink around power, and doesn't play games. She's truth in a human form, and that's exactly why the Sigma lets her in, because she's the only one who doesn't try to enter. Point 2. Chaos Whisperer. Most women want loud love. This one, she prefers quiet loyalty. She doesn't panic when things go silent. She doesn't flinch when emotions run deep. She doesn't need constant updates or dopamine boosts to feel secure. She knows how to ride stillness. The Sigma male lives in a mental jungle of calculated thoughts. He needs space. He thrives in minimal noise. Most women misread that as emotional unavailability. This woman doesn't. She sees his silence not as distance, but as focus. She's a chaos whisperer, not because she avoids conflict, but because she knows how to navigate storms without feeding them. She doesn't explode. She inquires. She doesn't escalate. She anchors. When the Sigma's energy turns inward, she doesn't poke it. She respects it. She doesn't try to talk it out when the moment isn't ready. She gives him mental air. That's what makes her rare. She knows that intensity needs oxygen, not arguments. Her power is internal. She's grounded, not rattled. She sees the difference between emotional chaos and emotional depth. Most women conflate the two. She doesn't. She understands polarity. The Sigma's emotional world is like a cave, dark but filled with rare gems. She knows how to enter without disturbing the dust. and she never tries to decorate it. She simply lets it echo. This woman is a stabilizer, not a controller. She's not intimidated by unpredictability. She moves like a wave, but lands like a mountain. She doesn't ask the Sigma to explain himself constantly. She doesn't turn every moment into a therapy session. She knows the difference between emotional honesty and emotional dumping. She doesn't chase chaos, and that's exactly why she can navigate it, because she doesn't add fuel to the fire. She turns the fire into warmth. That's why the Sigma trusts her, not because she fixes his world, but because she knows how to move through it without noise. Point 3. Unshakable flame. This woman doesn't wait for reassurance. She walks in self-certainty. Her confidence isn't loud. It's in her posture, her pause, her emotional economy. She speaks with purpose. She listens with intent. She burns, but she doesn't burn out. She doesn't confuse being loud with being strong. She doesn't need to overshare to feel connected. She doesn't create drama to test love. She builds clarity to strengthen it. She's not powered by attention. She's powered by alignment. This woman has been through enough fire to know real strength isn't in how much you can carry. It's in how much you can let go. And she's let go of everything that once held her back. She doesn't entertain toxic cycles. She doesn't recycle past wounds for sympathy. She's healed, not because she's untouched, but because she's done the work. She doesn't expect the Sigma to be her emotional sponge. She manages her own energy. She can support without self-erasing. She can love without losing herself. She doesn't need saving, she needs seeing. And the Sigma, he sees her because she doesn't hide behind roles. This woman doesn't fight for dominance. She doesn't fight for control. She brings presence, and that presence is power. She burns with a flame that isn't for show. It's for warmth, for guidance, for growth. She doesn't try to ignite him. She lights the way. Point 4. Architect of her own identity. She doesn't wait for permission to be. She builds. She creates. She's a self-architect in a world of imitators. While others copy aesthetics, she's focused on substance. She's not trending. She's timeless. She's not performing femininity. She's defining her own. She has vision, not fantasy, not dreams, blueprints. She isn't obsessed with being chosen. She chooses herself daily, and because of that, the Sigma chooses her willingly. She doesn't make him her world. She builds a world he wants to be part of, not a universe with her at the center, but a reality filled with meaningful gravity. Her self-worth isn't based on aesthetics, likes, or status. It's based on integrity and alignment. She doesn't bend for approval. She bends for growth. She's building something with or without a man. That's why the right man wants in. She's not waiting to be saved. She's not waiting to be noticed. She's too busy building, and that's why she stands out. Point 5. Storm tamer, not a weather reporter. She doesn't point fingers at the storm. She walks into it with calm steps. Most people narrate chaos. She neutralizes it. She doesn't waste breath describing the drama. She uses energy to dissolve it. When pressure builds, she doesn't explode or flee. She recalibrates. This woman is a strategist under pressure, not a reactor. She doesn't take offense at the first tone shift. She pauses. She evaluates. Then she responds with surgical emotional intelligence. She doesn't poke wounds. She doesn't weaponize silence. She doesn't dig for weakness. She holds composure in her palms like a steady flame. The Sigma sees this and respects it because he doesn't need fireworks. He needs functional fire, fire that warms, not burns. She doesn't demand he explain every dark moment. She doesn't panic when his mind retreats. Instead, she offers stillness and waits for truth to return. In conflict, she doesn't fight to win. She fights for clarity, and often she chooses peace over pride. She isn't cold. She's measured, there's a difference, and the Sigma sees that. Because she doesn't let emotion override purpose. She doesn't need control over everything, just control over herself. She's not here to dominate the situation. She's here to navigate it with purpose. When others stir tension, she deactivates it. Not by silence, not by retreat, by using her presence like a reset button. This is the storm tamer. She doesn't forecast disaster, she orchestrates clarity in the middle of it. Point 6. The anti-validation addict. She doesn't feed on likes, compliments, or outside applause. Her worth isn't up for negotiation or display. She's internally regulated, unshakable, minimalist, real. She doesn't dress for Instagram, she dresses for her reflection, and her reflection salutes her. She doesn't post for attention, she creates for purpose. She doesn't chase validation, she is validation in motion. The Sigma sees this and exhales. Finally, a woman who doesn't need constant reassurance. Finally, a woman who isn't performing confidence, she's living it. She's not cold, she's complete. She doesn't weaponize distance. She creates space with grace, not threat. She doesn't seek worth from relationships. She brings worth into them. And that's what separates her from the masses. She doesn't gossip, doesn't beg, doesn't overexpose. She shares selectively, intentionally. Her mystery isn't a tactic, it's just who she is. She isn't hiding, she's honoring herself. Her boundaries are sacred, not trendy. She knows what to share, when to share, and why. She's not waiting for approval from the world. The world adjusts to her frequency or exits her space. This woman doesn't post quotes about healing. She's already healed. She doesn't scream independence. She breathes it. The Sigma doesn't need to manage her emotions. She manages herself and invites partnership, not dependency. That's the anti-validation addict. She's rare, and that's exactly why the Sigma stops walking when he sees her. Point 7. The shadow dancer. She's not afraid of the Sigma's dark side because she's made peace with her own. She doesn't run from intensity. She steps into it with open eyes and firm grounding. She doesn't try to fix him. She doesn't dissect his every action. She lets him be, as long as it's real. She's not trying to understand him like a project. She's relating to him like a mirror of power. She's not intimidated by solitude. She craves it. She knows silence is often where the truth hides. She's seen her own ego, her own flaws, her own traumas. And she didn't blink. So when the Sigma goes deep, she dives too. She's done the inner work. She's burned the masks. She doesn't fear shadows. She's danced through them. She knows the difference between healthy distance and toxic avoidance. She knows how to hold space without collapsing. She doesn't rescue the Sigma. She recognizes him, and that changes everything. This woman doesn't need him to be perfect. She just needs him to be authentic, because she's not here for fantasy. She's here for freedom through truth. Point 8. The signal in the noise. She doesn't raise her voice to compete. She lowers her tone and is still heard. In a world addicted to volume, she is precision. She's not reactive. She's not dramatic. She's deeply dialed in. She speaks when it matters. And when she speaks, the Sigma listens. Because her words aren't wasted. They're woven with impact. She doesn't broadcast her value. She moves with it. She doesn't need to be the center of the room. She becomes the reason the room shifts. She's not boring. She's focused. And that focus is magnetic. This woman is signal because she doesn't let ego cloud her frequency. She's tuned to her purpose. She's not easily impressed. She's deeply moved by truth, alignment, and intelligence. The Sigma, who filters every interaction through a lens of authenticity, feels it. She's not loud. She's undeniable. She doesn't fill space with filler. She lets silence breathe. She respects it. She understands that real connection has nothing to prove. She's not a distraction. She's direction. She's not noise. She's the signal in all of it. Point 9. Emotional minimalist. She doesn't spill. She doesn't overflow. She doesn't weaponize emotions to manipulate or control. She operates from a place of clarity, not chaos. Her emotional world is organized, intentional, honest. She doesn't expect the Sigma to decode cryptic signals or chase validation through mood swings. She communicates directly because that's respect. She doesn't punish through silence or games. She uses honest expression, not explosions. She understands that real intimacy is built through clean emotional exchanges. The emotional minimalist doesn't dramatize. She doesn't fake calm. She is calm. She knows how to sit with discomfort without turning it into destruction. She doesn't dump emotional debris everywhere. She filters, she reflects, she integrates. The Sigma sees this and feels safe, not controlled, not responsible for her emotions, but safe in her emotional structure. This woman understands emotional sovereignty. She takes full responsibility for her feelings, her triggers, her growth. She's not numb, she's precise. She can feel deeply without losing balance. She can love fiercely without losing form. She doesn't use tears to manipulate. She doesn't turn vulnerability into a transaction. She's simple, not because she lacks depth, but because she's processed it. She's not here to complicate. She's here to connect, cleanly, clearly, consistently. And to the Sigma, that's gold. Point 10. The non-apologizer for strength. She doesn't shrink to soothe fragile egos. She doesn't play small to fit into boxes. She doesn't apologize for being powerful, intelligent, or clear. She's not aggressive. She's assertive. She doesn't yell. She knows. And that knowing is louder than noise. She doesn't say sorry for having standards. She doesn't explain her boundaries to people who won't respect them. She doesn't dilute her power for the comfort of others. She is unapologetically whole. She leads where she must. She follows where it makes sense. But she never submits to anything that violates her values. The Sigma male doesn't want to dominate this kind of woman. He wants to build with her, because her strength isn't competitive. It's complementary. She's not trying to overpower. She's bringing order to her own world. She's not loud about it. She's just clear. She doesn't seek control. She just refuses to be controlled. She's comfortable being misunderstood. She's not here for consensus. She's here for truth. That's the kind of woman the Sigma doesn't just notice. He remembers. Point 11. Mystery without drama. She doesn't play hard to get. She is hard to reach because she's not accessible to just anyone. But she's not performing mystery. She lives it. She has layers but no masks. She's private, not secretive. Selective, not evasive. Her mystery isn't a game. It's the byproduct of a woman who's not interested in broadcasting her soul for cheap attention. She doesn't provoke. She doesn't test. She doesn't bait. She simply exists in depth. And the Sigma, he doesn't want loud answers. He wants real depth. She gives him silence, space, and soul. That's more powerful than seduction. She's unpredictable in a grounded way. You don't know what she'll do next, but you know she'll mean it. She doesn't follow scripts. She writes her own plot. She doesn't keep secrets to be controlling. She holds space to be sacred. The Sigma recognizes this kind of mystery because he lives in it too. No performance, no drama. Just undeniable energy. Point 12. The long game woman. She's not here for short attention spans and quick dopamine hits. She's not rushing into labels, plans, or pressure. She doesn't ask, "Where is this going?" every week, because she knows where she's going, with or without him. She's a long game woman. She moves intentionally, not impulsively. Her love isn't about urgency. It's about alignment and time-tested connection. She's not addicted to novelty. She values depth, growth, consistency. When the Sigma retreats, she doesn't chase, she doesn't panic, she understands rhythm, she respects space. She's not afraid of slow, she's afraid of fake. She doesn't build overnight, she lays bricks with patience, precision, presence. And that's exactly why the Sigma, who lives on long timelines, resonates deeply with her. She's not looking for attention, she's building foundation. No rush, no noise, no facade, just steady evolution, with or without applause. Ascenders, you're not just watching a list, you're witnessing a rare formula. A woman so aligned with herself, she becomes the only one capable of walking beside a Sigma, not in front, not behind, beside. Subscribe to Sigma Ascends if you haven't already, because we don't flirt with mediocrity, we romance mastery. Until next time, stay aware, stay disciplined, and never forget. When two sovereign souls align, they don't complete each other, they amplify.